Hey everybody, welcome to American Idol Unaired. I'm your host Bennett Shear. Super pumped because we have our first aired exception of season 21, Rach Karma. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. How are you?
I'm great. It hasn't even been that long since you were on the show, so it's kind of cool. We connected pretty quickly. And for you, it's been a little bit longer because you filmed American Idol. What was it? September, October?
Yeah, it was actually the end of September. My guitarist and I we flew out to Las Vegas, and
Mhm.
we spent a couple days there to film the show.
They reach out to you, you try it yourself. How's that whole process look?
So the way it, I wasn't originally planning on auditioning for American Idol that season, but you know, the more pop up ads that I saw, and I'm like, am I going to do this? Do I want to do this? And it's like, oh, Connecticut auditions, Connecticut auditions. I'm like, okay, fine, okay. So I did it, and I was surprised.
Hmm.
All right, even after the first producer, even after I screamed, I did it one of my metal screams, and she was like, "What was that?" And I'm like, "Oh well, that is metal."
What songs did you choose? I'm sure you had to sing a couple for them to
I
send
did.
you through.
Yeah, my original audition songs were Misery Business by Paramore
Okay,
and Hit the Lights by Metallica.
cool. That's an interesting thing because I feel like a lot of people probably know the Paramore stuff more from like the radio, and then it's sort of more versatile to go with the Metallica stuff. So that's neat.
Uh-huh.
Um, and what was your reaction when you found out you were actually going to get to meet the judges? Did you think it was going to go that far?
I was so shocked. I was just shocked because you know um after all of my experiences in life, and I mean, let's be upfront, it's not the first time I've been rejected. It's all right though. It's, I mean, look at Joan Jett. She got rejected by so many labels, and they said no to her all the time, and that's where the song Bad Reputation was written. um and so, yeah, so when I went through, I called my mom, and she's like, are you sure it's not a scam? Thanks, mom, appreciate that. Um, but she has been supportive throughout the entire process. There wasn't a moment that my mom has shown that she hasn't been. Um, and I was pretty shocked when I learned that I was going to get flown out to Vegas. Because I, I almost didn't believe it, but it happened to me. You know, so.
Well, it sounds like you've been at this thing for a long time. Do you want to tell us a little bit about kind of your journey before American Idol in the music
Mhm.
business?
Sure. So I've been a musician pretty much all of my life. You know, anything in the arts, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm an actor, I'm a this, I'm a that. Um, Currently I'm in two bands. Before the American Idol auditions, I was still those are my same bands. One is a metal cover band. The other one is my baby. It's my main band, called Nevermore. Nevermore in the past, because you can always move forward. It's a theatrical symphonic goth metal band. And our EP is going to be released at the end of April.
Very cool. Being in a band and then going on Idol solo. Obviously, like you said, done so many different things. I'm sure you have experience performing on your own, but are you kind of were you more in the band mentality when you were going on Idol doing a solo competition, or does it, as a performer, does it really kind of not make a difference for you whether you're going out there by yourself with your band?
Singing is singing.
Right.
It's whether there's when you have a band, you have the power behind it, the
Right.
fullness. But just, yeah, being individual, it's kind of like, they're not looking at the guitarist too. They're not looking at the bassist. Well, they're not looking at the bassist too. They're looking at me.
Right. Do you get to meet a lot of the other contestants, hang out with them, get to know people?
Yeah, I met Trey. We were in Vegas together. Pretty cool guy.
Trey from the Fae, the guy that got aired like week 2,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And you're there for like days, right? Just I mean, because it's such a long process as far as actually filming. Like you don't just walk in and out. And what was it like for you doing all the interviews and the B-roll? How did you find that, like the TV part of it all?
It was fun. I wish that they had shown some of it.
Do you want to get into it a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Well, they wanted me to like kind of be a certain way, and not down to the point of oh you can't be yourself, but like the point of like hey like let's be like enthusiastic, and we want to see like the medal, we want to see this, do the thing. I'm like okay, so I did it. Some of some of the producers loved it. Some of them didn't care so much.
Would you have preferred if it were less of like telling you how to act and more of just you walking in like being you without all that instruction, or did it matter so much?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no, because I was so nervous like the whole time. Um, and so my brain wanted to go into full blown anxiety mode and shut down sometimes.
Mm. That's the thing that I don't know if people really get about Idol sometimes. It's a big opportunity, but it's a big opportunity. You're going on TV. A lot of people would handle that differently, and that's normal because it's like if you're listening out there, what would you do if you could go on TV in front of millions of people? Would you just be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm on TV," or would you be like, this is TV. There's cameras everywhere, and they're asking me to say all these things about myself and go into my deep dark soul of like what's going on in my life. That's a lot to do, especially if you haven't done it before.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, there's a there's someone who kind of lives in my state and he's like, I don't know, you would say like the local celebrity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so he's done like the whole like B-roll thing. He's done like, and he's talking to me about some of it. And it's like, it's just it's so weird, it's like setting the scene, so that it can portray something that they're trying to portray. That's not just the way it is. One of the things I was interested in learning is one of the judges actually well, I'll Luke Bryan. Uh, the reaction that he did that was aired on TV is not what happened in my actual audition.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other things happened. I must have been in there for like 15 minutes.
Well, we saw only one of them, so however much you remember and however much you want to share, I'm very curious. But I understand that there's a lot to remember. There's so much, I'm sure. But do you know which day you went? Because you're there again for a long time. Was it later in the week, earlier in the week?
I was there for 3 days. On the third day, it was definitely at night because the sun was going down.
Right.
Um, on that third day, so I went in for my audition, and as soon as it was done and one thing led to another, they're like, okay, 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 okay. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay, whoa, chill. All right, I'm moving.
Wow. So when you did go in there, again, we only saw 1 minute of what happened, and it looked very much like it was just. I think it was cut back from I think they had on TV. It was just coming back from a commercial break. So
Yep.
that little holy diver thing was probably just very much in the middle of that 15 minutes. So I'm curious what happened when you first walked in the room, the interaction with the judges, and then kind of the beginning of that
Mhm.
experience.
Okay. Um, so before I had gone in, the producer was like, okay, we want you to run in, do a circle on the oval as, hey, I'm Rach. So I did just that. I ran just in, I did just that. Katy Perry, um, Katy Perry, she like, doing this whole like, whoa, and I'm okay, it's not that bad, okay. Um uh so I walked in there, they asked me a couple questions, like, some of my favorite bands, who inspired me. And then they asked me how I got into metal. And my answer was Rob Zombie.
Hmm.
My dad introduced me to Rob Zombie when I was a kid. So, that's kind of how all those things connected. But Hollywood magic, they got to put their little sprinkle on everything, and make it relevant without making what I said relevant.
Mm.
So they took the Rob Zombie words out of my mouth, and then Lionel Richie kind of just connected it. Okay, fine, whatever. It was weird, because I said that was my inspiration, not my inspiration. That was one of the first vocalists, metal musicians that I was exposed to as a kid. My actual inspiration is in this moment, but yeah. So I just thought it was really funny how they kind of did that.
Yeah, well, you also said that the reaction that they showed on TV wasn't what was happening in the room. So was it a surreal experience watching yourself on TV and seeing things totally differently from how it happened?
Yes, I had no idea how it was going to be portrayed. Little did I know it was going to be horrible.
Mm.
The way that they sliced everything together was so crappy.
Yeah. From your perspective, because you were there filming it, what did it go a lot better for you when you were filming it and you felt a lot better about it when you were there?
I feel like it did. Um, but and also, but I listen and I'm thinking, what happened to my guitarist? And what happened to me in that section? Because we fucking rehearsed. We rehearsed it.
Multiple songs or just that one song?
We had multiple songs, but they only wanted one song.
And they only aired one song, but did you perform more than one in the room?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. You said you were in there for like 15 minutes, so was it just a lot of banter with the judges or feedback?
Yep. They were so rude at one point. They were trying to get content. And I'm like, what do you want me to fucking chuck this guitar at you? Like, what do you want from me?
Get content, meaning were they interacting with you or with each other?
With me.
Rude. I mean, what exactly?
Luke Bryan just looked at me with disgust the whole time. And I'm like, bro, like, what is your problem? I didn't even sing yet.
Wow. And Katie, Lionel?
Katie taken back. Lionel, kind of a blank expression. It is what it is, though. You can't let one bad thing stop you from doing what you love to do the most.
Exactly. And it's one step. And people need to stop thinking of American Idol like it's this huge thing. Because honestly, I don't think it is. I don't think that being on one TV show defines you at all.
Absolutely. I think I find which act was the most frustrating was that person that was like, oh, they claimed to be a karaoke singer, and then what was her? And then she did the thing,
Right.
and I guess they're saying Katy Perry bullied her.
Oh, it's in the news now. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, so have you happened to connect with any other contestants? I'm curious. I mean, I asked you, you mentioned one contestant, Trey, that you met, but whether it was on set or after you were filming, have you bonded with any of the others who either may have felt the same way or even just, maybe had their own feelings about Idol? Because there are a lot of people that did that show that didn't even get aired.
It's funny because if you get the no, if you get that rejection, then they push you out as soon as possible. So even if there were people that I wanted to connect with, I didn't have the opportunity to exchange information with them.
Oh.
Yeah. There are some people. Me and my guitarist, like there was this one kid, I forgot what his name was. I see his face though. But we were talking to him. He was super cool, and I would reconnect with that person.
That's interesting that you said they just kind of were like, get out, right? Like after you leave the room. Now, sometimes I know with the contestants who actually all the time, the contestants who get a yes, they're like, well, we're not done with you now because we have to film you getting your reaction to your golden ticket and all that stuff. Did they want to film your reaction to not getting the golden ticket or anything like that first before you left?
Yes, I did an interview.
Oh gosh. And did you just want to be like, fuck you?
You would think, you would think that they would want some kind of like big reaction, but the person that's doing the what is it? Is he the director over there? Is he the producer over there? I don't know, but he was the worst, the worst. I let a swear slip out, once, and then he's like, "Do it all over again. Do it all." Like the attitude, I'm like, oh, it was upsetting. But I needed to stay, chill.
Now, this is I assume your only experience with reality TV, or have you ever done any other shows like Idol?
No, I have not.
And would you plan to do it again, or after this? I don't know. Would you ever go back to a show like this, or
Mm, well, let me say this. If I do go back, at least I have a better idea of what it's going to be like.
right?
So I won't be going in blind anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have at least some kind of idea of how it's going to work.
Right. Because I feel like it's such an eye-opening experience. If you've
Mm.
never done it, you think it might be one thing. Maybe you think it's about the music, or you think it's, oh, this is a place I'm going to go to advance my career. And then you might realize that when you get there, it's something completely different, and it's a TV show, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I learned that, people don't understand, the movie magic that goes behind the entirety of it. You know, um, for instance, like, when we had signed our initial contract, it's like, I agree that anything I do or say can and will be, caught on camera, and Idol will use it however they see fit.
Right.
So, and, especially when we were like wearing mics and stuff, it was like, careful what you say. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know what they're going to do.
I actually auditioned for fun, not because I sing for fun. I'm not a serious musician, but in like 2017 I wanted to experiment because I want to be a TV producer. So I went out to this like bus tour, and we read the contracts, and my mom noticed the same thing. She was like, "Oh, so wherever you go, they're gonna be. It's like there's a bug always tracking everything that you say."
Yeah. Or I mean, are they doing it, or are they just trying to, well, but they could do it, but they could.
I actually find that, granted, well, first of all, before I say what I'm going to say, as frustrating as the experience was, are you happy that you at least got the airtime so that people could
Oh,
see who you
absolutely,
are?
absolutely. There are people that got a golden ticket that I haven't even seen aired.
Right. Immensely talented people. With that said, I think what I find frustrating is, as much as they're trying to fit everybody in, when the segments are so short, and it's like you're there on screen for a minute, and I don't know how much of it was eaten up by the judges running their mouths and not giving you enough of the attention. I think we want to get to know who these people are. We want to get to, whether it's about hearing their stories or really just fully hearing them sing. And then, as you said, it wasn't portrayed the way that you thought it should be. I think that's what's most frustrating, is that it should be an authentic experience where the contestants feel that they're being portrayed authentically, and then we as the viewers get to sit in that, right? So that, I think, is
Yeah.
what's disappointing from my perspective.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, but hey, once you sign that, that's that. I do wish that, that they did show the actuality of everything that happens behind the scenes.
For sure. Well, hey, I mean, this is, I guess, kind of a glimpse into it, but um, like I said earlier, what's more important is this is just a little moment in time. You have your whole career, and you've been doing this a long time, and it's just a learning experience, right? You learn things about television, and you're gonna just keep going and keep doing the thing, and it's like, hey, it was probably wild and trippy, and that's what you'll say about it.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience, and we'll see if I do that again.
Well, what are you looking forward to in the future? Because, like I said, so much more to come from you and your band and any solo stuff. What are you working on right now?
I'm working on a couple things. So right now, my band, we're about to release our EP. And I'm working on a song with this a guitarist. Um, and the drummer's my friend, and it's a good time, good things.
I'm kind of curious if there are any other inspirations of yours. I know that you auditioned with the Paramore song in Metallica, and you sang Holy Diver in your audition. Who are some other influences that you have, like when you go into the studio, just on the regular basis, that you listen to inspire you to make records?
My biggest inspiration was Maria Brink from In This Moment. Because when I was younger and I saw her, it's a female fronted metalcore band. They inspired me to do what I'm doing now. And some other influences, I really like Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. Some of his vocal pronunciations I find very inspiring. Because with some metal vocalists, what's the common thing that they say? Oh, you can't understand what he's saying. Well, you can with Randy Blythe because he does over pronunciation. Um, and I have a huge melting pot of different inspirations. I don't only listen to metal. I listen to classic metal and classic rock. And I listen to goth music as well. A lot of different stuff. A
Mm.
lot of different stuff.
It is important, to kind of diversify the pool of stuff you listen to. Are there any genres that are like completely out of the music that you make, whether it's, I don't know, country or EDM or anything like that, that like you have some jams from those styles?
I hate country music. You should have seen me in Vegas. But anyways, I don't like country. I do like EDM. I also like rap and R&B. I like show tunes. Musical theater is where I started. That's non-metal stuff. So yeah, I like Rihanna.
Should have seen me in Vegas. Now I'm curious. I don't know if you meant like Luke Bryan or something like that, but
They were all singing a song. My guitarist said it's Tennessee Whiskey, and I'm like, never heard of it.
oh, is that when the contestants all sit around in a circle and sing songs?
You could say that that's what happened. It's more like a cluster. I was standing at a table, and then next thing I know, someone comes up on my right, someone comes up on my left. We're all talking. Next thing I know, they all break out into song. I'm like,
Hmm.
fuck.
You're like, all you want to do is drink some Tennessee whiskey right now.
Oh well. Yeah, so smoke some Tennessee herbals.
Yeah, but hey, that is cool though that you listen to so many different things, and I really want to go and check out everything that you've got coming out, and we're actually gonna play one of your songs right now. So why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, release the demons. That's the song. So that song is it's the concluding song on our EP called "The Right of Truth." The Right of Truth is about a traumatic experience and the roller coasters of that. Um, and the final song, it's called "Release the Demons." The reason it is because after these traumatic experiences, we have these demons inside
Mm,
of us. These vengeful sabotaging type of entities. Whether it be as a right of our inner demons, or if you really want to take it and make it metaphysical, you could say actual demons. um and then because the main line is hide your angels, release your demons. They're your innocent parts of yourself that you want to preserve, that you want to keep them safe because they don't deserve the demons.
mm.
So
Wow. I'm gonna go listen to that after this, and I'm really happy that everybody else gets to hear it. So, anything else that you want to say, just about where people can follow you or what they can look out for before we head out?
yeah, so you can find me on Instagram at venomous, that's with a Z and not an S, underscore 555. You can also find me on Facebook, Rach Karma. Give me a follow. May 29th, EP The Right of Truth is being released on Spotify and Apple Music, and I believe it's going on Pandora as well. And hell yeah, awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Guys, if you enjoyed this conversation, you can follow us at Idle and Nerd Podcast. If you want to support the Patreon, links in the bio to do that as well. Rach, thank you so much for being a part of American Idol Unaired.
Thank you so much for having me on.